Yep. Okay, thank you, everybody. I know today you probably didn't have a lot of time to get through to the end of the investigation. Today was our very packed day. The other days you will have more time. I also enjoyed visiting some of the breakout rooms. I saw that quite a few of you didn't notice that you could zoom the supernova curve tool, but the app is now online for you. You can go back at your leisure and go through it slowly and carefully, or complete it if you didn't have a chance to finish it. I'm going to share my screen for just a minute, and I would like to point out a few things on the meeting page to wrap up today for homework. First of all, if you haven't had a chance to read it, you might want to read this link called About Our Investigations. This will be really helpful if you're going to go back again into the app a second time, because you might at first say, wait a minute, it's crashed, it's not working anymore. And there are some suggestions on this page that will tell you what to do. Somebody asked in chat just a minute ago, will you be with the same people tomorrow? And the answer is no. We have different people joining every day because of conflicts in their schedule and ours. So we're randomly assigning the breakout rooms each day. For homework tonight, here's what you do. You can click on the day one homework directions, and it will tell you exactly what I'm going to tell you now in case you forget. So don't worry about having to take notes on this. It's all there for you. But in essence, what we would like you to do is we would like you to look at a few of the links under resources, the teacher guide and the NGSS standards. The standards is particularly important for those of you who are teaching the NGSS. We know a lot of you are not, but we'd like you just to look at it anyway so you can see what we've done, because we have 1 or 2 questions about how we're presenting that information on the evaluation form. I would like to talk to you a little bit about this instructor information form. None of the evaluations you do this week have your email address in it except this one. This one form that you'll fill out first today will link your information so that we know you in one place. But we do not collect, everything else you do is anonymous. We don't collect information by email on any other form. If you would like to get a certificate of participation, there has to be a way for me to know who's answering these evaluations. So the very last question on each evaluation is either enter your email address or your unique identifier. So you can make up some sort of unique identifier. That's a short thing, doesn't have to be your email, so we can't identify you that way. Excuse me. But please make it specific enough so that I don't get 2 people with the same unique identifier. So, you know, Joe is probably not good enough. But if you'd like to come up with an identifier and use it for every evaluation this week, that's the place you're going to enter that information on your instructor information form. And that will let me go back at the very end of the week and say, oh, yes, this person completed all of the required evaluations. The Exploding Stars evaluation is going to ask specifically about the app, and the day one homework evaluation is going to ask some other questions about what you've looked at today. And as I said before, this last one is just optional. So one of the questions I had from a participant is there somewhere I should be recording my notes on things? Well, no, you don't have to give us any notes except what you want to tell us. So if you have input for us, please give it to us. And if you don't see a place to put it on this additional input or questions for tomorrow form, and we will get all of that information. So that's all there is to do for homework, is fill out the evaluations in order for, you know, the information to be recorded for your certificate of completion. Even if you're not doing it, I would so appreciate personally if you would fill out those evaluations, because as I said in the beginning, we want the best information possible for our students and teachers. And the only way we're going to get that way is if you give us your input. So I thank you. And before we close for today, are there any questions?
There were a few in the chat, but I think if about accessing web pages permanently, or do they have to be a test user? And then I think if anybody else has a question, Peg, we can probably unmute people and let them be, on their own, and then they can ask.
So I'll answer that.
We can hang around for a little bit afterward. If people need to leave, that's fine, and if people need to stay, we'll visit with you all.
Okay. So first of all, I want to say that the app links will work for a while. I can't tell you how long. So I would say if you are planning on trying to do this as a classroom test, contact me in advance so I know when you're using it, and make sure that the app that you want to use will be up at the link that I can give you at that time. But I would say it's a safe bet that for the next few weeks at least, the links that we post in the workshop today will remain active. Let's see. And then there's a question about, can we use our username for identification? Yes, you can use your username. You could use your real name. You could use your email address, or you can make up something totally fake. Just as long as you link it on that first instructor form so that I know who you are when I'm doing the tally at the end of the week. That's all we need. Okay, Peg, I see there's a question about, will we be limited to 100 person? Do you want to speak to what happened today?
Yes, well, we have a professional account that's supposed to be letting 100 people in, and we paid extra money to let a total of 500 people in, but Zoom didn't let us use it. So I was with tech support for the first hour, and we're hoping to get the problem fixed, but we will just have to wait and see tomorrow. We had a couple dozen people that didn't get in today, and I wasn't a happy camper. Elaine had to mute me because she could probably hear the steam rolling out of my ears at that time. So we're going to try again tomorrow. If you have friends or colleagues that didn't get in, please have them try again tomorrow. I had to kick 2 people out so we could let our speakers in. And I very much apologize to Tom and Steve for that. So if you know Tom or Steve, tell them that, they allowed us to have speakers today. Yeah, this has been an interesting challenge, but I'm happy that most of you got in and were able to participate fully today. Thank you for being here, and we'll get better at this.
And thank you all for your patience. We really appreciate it. I will not be enjoying the ride with you all for the next 3 days, but I'll see you all on Friday.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you all. See you tomorrow.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
And again, we can hang around for a few minutes.